Okay, and for Mr. Donnellan, what made you cast Robert Pattinson for this role? Thank you.
Because we were very, very lucky to get Rob. I thought he'd play it extremely well. I mean, he connected immediately to the role and completely understood the part, completely understood the venality of the character. I was really struck at our first meeting. And I was also very flattered because Rob wanted to rehearse with me for a whole month before we began the shoot. And that was wonderful for somebody with Rob's unbelievably busy schedule to want to devote that much time to rehearsing before we began. But no, I think he's wonderful, the part. The part's in a way the opposite of Rob, because, and that's quite interesting, is the other half of the coin, because what the part's about, I think, is about somebody who has very little talent, who gets to the top on no talent. And it's a great parable for our times. And he kind of uses the energy of the society in which he is against itself. So he does a marvelous judo throws. So he's in this world of sharks and he mirrors them. He becomes a shark like them. There's one hurdle, he gets over it, another hurdle, he gets over it. And I think that's an extraordinary thing about the part. And Rob really keyed into that. And it was very thrilling. I just remember that very first conversation in London we had about that years ago now. I was very thrilled by Rob's take on the part. And he's brilliant at it, you know, and we work very, very well and very warmly and very closely together. And that's why.
Thank you. Next question, please.
My name is Mahar Sigit. I wanted to ask about the language, but you cited Oscar Wilde, so I can understand that. So my question goes to Pattinson and to the producer. Pattinson, you are today a role model for many young new generation, which include my daughter, 8 years old, and my son, 14. But because wherever I move at home, I see your picture. So what do you think you owe this, let's say, this young generation that is after you, that makes you so famous? Do you feel a responsibility? And just a minute, the second question was how much this Italian production with Christina Ricci in this film, can you tell us about it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess my responsibility, I think it's not necessarily to give anything back other than try and do the best work you can. I mean, you know, you get an audience for doing certain jobs, and so I think the biggest disservice you can do to your audience is just trying to keep repeating the same thing and trying to get them to come just to get money or whatever. But if people are interested in what you're doing, then if you try and do as interesting films as possible, or as interesting subjects, then I think it's great if a Twilight audience would come and watch Bel Ami. I mean, it's like a movie which I wouldn't have thought that audience would necessarily go to. So I think that's, in some way, if that's probably being kind of arrogant, but like it's kind of doing a service to someone. I mean, I felt like I learned a lot doing it, just reading the book. So I would think that people, you know, especially young people, would learn a lot from it. If that makes sense.
The film is not strictly an Italian production. I'm an Italian, but I'm based in London. The film was financed by Rai Cinema, which is the mother of great filmmaking in Italy, by Studio Canal, who gambled a great deal of their resources on the rights for France and the UK and Germany on the film. It was helped by the tax system in the UK. It's really a British movie financed from all over Europe. And the cast is not a British cast. It's a best cast for the roles of the story.
Thank you.
Lida Bach, I'm a freelancer. I have a question for the directors. There's a scene in the book where George and his first wife return to the country. They visit his parents, and she's disillusioned by the reality, the poorness of country life, and we see what George is actually running away from. I always thought the scene is crucial for characterization, and we really see what's driving him, what he's running away. That we see which contrast there is between the lives of the rich and the poor, and here we only see a very idealized version of like dancing prostitutes in the Moulin Rouge, like kind of a cliche So, and one character says even the horse are getting rich. So, why did you decide to leave that bit out of the novel? I found already it's very important.
Yes, I hear what you're saying. I think we've made poverty exist in the film by the very first shots in which we see Georges. Thank you for your question, and I do hear it. We are aware of Georges' poverty in the apartment right from the very beginning. You see it from the cockroach that's in his flat that he remembers later on in the film. We have a very strong sense of that profound poverty that I think that takes him through it. And of course, yes, it would be lovely to have the Norman scenes in. There are many, many wonderful scenes in the book that we can't do. But unfortunately, of course, a novel's a different form from a movie, so sometimes great sacrifices have to be made. But thank you.
Can I just add something to it as well? Because there was one of the things I kind of liked about the book was that he didn't see it. As I was playing it, I never really thought he was trying to run away from poverty. It's like in the book, his parents, I think they put him into. They pay for his education and stuff. He's lazy. I mean, they're not dirt poor when he's growing up. And then also, they're not idealized as well as they're not the kind of romantic idea of being poor or the kind of extreme idea of being poor. Like he sees them as disgusting people as well. Like his dad tries to seduce his wife when he's there and stuff. It's not really to do with. I don't know. I never really saw it as something about like running away from poverty. He feels like he's entitled to wealth. Oh yeah, but I don't think he's thinking if I don't do this job, then if I don't get money, then I'm going to end up in the gutter. It's like he feels entitled from birth. He feels like he should have been born rich. It's not like he's afraid of being poor. I guess yeah. That's how I saw it. I don't know. I don't know why I added that.
Thank you. Next question on the left, please.
I'm Alex from Los Angeles. I have two very quick questions. To Mr. Declan, I lived in Budapest a long time. I was surprised to recognize the Budapest Opera House where I've spent many, many evenings.
I'm afraid I'm sorry you did. But anyway.
So I'm curious as we could comment on how the Hungarians came in, why you chose Hungary as a location, and so forth. And for Miss Ricci, with her incredible image change, I've seen you in many, many of your earlier movies, and this seems to be a big change direction in your career. I wonder if you can comment on your participation in this movie differently from your other movies that you have been in before.
Do you want to start? There you go. Okay, I'll go. I'm delighted to work with Christina on the movie. It was fantastic working with Christina. It was a great challenge for both of us because we've both done some new things, and it was her sensitivity and her spontaneity. And a capacity to improvise in front of the camera really moved me. Budapest, the reason for Budapest, I'm afraid, is it costs an arm and a leg to close down central Paris. So, that our budget didn't run to that. It would have been nice to have Paris, but actually it was great fun to work with the Hungarian crew. They were incredibly helpful. They made us feel extremely welcome. And we managed to invent another world, which is loosely based on Paris. I'm sorry if you recognize the Opera House, but perhaps some people won't. But some of the boulevards are very similar. Thank you, though.
And to answer your question, I really wanted to be a part of this film. I've loved this book since I was like 13 or 14. And I was really excited at the prospect of working with Nick and Declan and with Rob and the rest of the cast. And I love the character of Clotilde. And I do like a bit of a costume drama. So, I was excited to get a corset on.
Thank you. On the right, please.
Hello. My question goes to Christina and Robert. I just want to know, how was it filming those steamy nude scenes together?
Oh, so intimate and romantic with all 100 crew members there and no ceiling.
Yeah. Declan also gave me the worst advice at the beginning. He's like everyone in the 1890s didn't have six packs, so don't work out.
Right, and I was told to grow armpit hair. So we were both really attractive, as attractive as possible at the time.
You must admit now that don't work out is one of the nicest pieces of advice you've ever received.
It seems nice until you have to take your shirt off.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And don't shave your armpits. because it's accurate. It's like you're like, yeah, I really want to be accurate to the period, and then you see it on screen as your arms raised and beautiful lighting, and then your arms are raised above your head, and you're just like, that was a bad move. No,
You're going to start a new trend.
Some accuracy is just not called for.
It's a new fashion Christina's going to set.
Thank
you for that.
Thank you. There was one on the left.
Hello, I'm Robert Iancu from Romania, Radio Links. My question goes to Holiday. Tell us also your feelings regarding your performance in the movie, how it was for you. You were awful quiet until now, and I want to hear your voice. And Christina, also your future projects shortly. I want to know more. Thank you.
Yeah, I was really excited starting this. It was great working with Declan because I love the character because there's quite a lot of ambiguity about her that initially you think she's quite sweet and very innocent, and then it's not, and you start to feel sorry for her, and it's not until the end that you realise I think George has a line that she is her father in miniature, so by the end you kind of think, oh, I don't know who's worse off in that marriage, him or her. And so it was really fun playing with those kind of levels in the scenes and deciding whether we were going to be innocent or scheming. And Pan Am, the TV show I was doing, the season's over now. So as soon as I'm finished here, I'm going back to New York to start rehearsals on an off-Broadway production of Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh.
So.
Thank you. On the left, please.
My question goes to Mr. Pattinson. I would like to know what your plans to the future. I mean, you don't want any more blockbusters in your life or for a while? And why the shaved hair? It's for some project.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's kind of cool, like having it. Like, if you don't have to make not the hair. If you I mean, having blockbusters in your life is never a bad thing. I mean, it's just when you're making it, if everyone is expecting it to be a blockbuster, it's kind of lame. But like, if you just make little, like smaller movies, like Bel Ami, or like I just did a movie with Cronenberg, and when they become blockbusters, it's great. But and the shaved head, it's. Yeah, I don't really know why.
It's me, Rob. It's me, Rob, just say.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to look like Declan. No, I was running, and hair kept flapping around on my head, and I felt I looked like an idiot, so I just shaved it off. Really interesting answer.